Good morning. It's been a long time and I'm so glad to be able to connect back with you. Today morning I'm going to be showing you a little bit of how to draw teeth from the occlusal view. So you're going to be in RPD 4 next year and RPD 3, some of you are going to be in RPD 3, 4, whatever. You're going to have to draw the occlusal surface of the teeth and that's going to be important for you. So it's good to be able to draw that easily and clearly. I know you have a little bit of a problem with drawing, so let me help you with that. All right, so just a minute. So today we're going to have a look at how to draw an arch form, and you know that most arch forms are U shape. So this is the shape that you're going to basically follow. It's a U shape, and so you're going to have to draw that. So the first things that you want to draw is to get a straight line, and usually it's good to keep the paper sideways and to get a straight line because you can get it horizontally like that. Okay. Once you've drawn that straight line, this becomes the midline for your arch. Okay, this becomes a midline for your arch. From here, you want to draw a curve. So, a curve. Okay, so you have a curve. Now, the important thing is that the curve should not be pointed. It should not be pointed. Okay, it should not get pointed because that's not how our arch looks. So it should not be pointed. All right, it's good to be shallow. It's good to be shallow here, the curve being shallow, going up to this side. Right, once it comes to the segment, the anterior segment is done, then you're going to have a straight line going posteriorly, and that should be for your posteriors. Right, again the same distance from here, and you're going to draw a line posteriorly. So it's a simple way to get an arch form done. So we have an arch form. We can correct our midline. If our midline happen to be slightly off at this point, you can correct your midline. Okay, and we're going to simply use a scale and to get a midline in the center, very lightly just going to draw a midline in the center. So that's my midline, and I have this. Now obviously this is going to be the area where you're going to have the central to lateral. So you have to divide this space, right? Lateral is going to be the smallest tooth, central is going to be the largest tooth. Central is going to take, you divide this into 3. 1, 1, 2, 3. So you have, okay, let me get this a little bit more right. If you divide this equally into 3 parts, you will get 1, 2 and 3. So 1, 2 and 3 will be the distances if you divide it equally. Now we know that the central incisor is not the same width as the lateral. The lateral is much more smaller. So because of that, you can increase the width of the central. So just increase the width of the central a little bit and you start looking good. So the center piece, the lateral piece is going to look smaller. So this is the proportions we are going to have and we are going to follow. Now I'm going to zoom it in so that you can see what I'm drawing. Okay. Now here you can see I'm going to draw a tooth, and I'm first going to draw it outside so you have an idea of how to draw it. Okay. So you're going to draw this arch form. You're going to just draw it there. And once you've drawn that, you're just going to draw another line very close to it like that. Once this is done, you're going to draw a V shape. Okay. This should be coincident with the central line, right? Or the U shape, I'm sorry. And here, just get this down. Small cingulum, because the central has very small cingulum. And you can just give some shading, and this should be your central incisor. So I'm going to put that central incisor in here. It's very simple. You already have the arch form, so you can follow that arch form. Just drawing my second line. Here we go. Here we go. Right? And from here, don't connect this line to the top line. Do not connect the two lines together. Let me zoom it in for you further. So when you are drawing, make sure you do not connect this line to this line. Okay, so don't connect them, keep them separate because it's not connected. So this is one piece, this is one piece, this starts here, no connecting them. Here also this starts here, no connecting them. Just go down, make a small cingulum. Remember that it has a very small cingulum. Canine has a much bigger cingulum, so make a small cingulum here also, and then just shade the inside, and you have your central incisor. Okay, so that should be simple. When you come to the lateral, the same thing for the lateral, but of course a smaller tooth. So you can draw a small one, very simple. Okay, and then don't connect this one, don't connect this to that, just keep it down without connecting, and just shade that out if you want to. If you want to very mildly shade, I'm darkening it a little bit for the sake of the video. Gently, if I'm drawing it, I will just keep it mild so that the tooth, it doesn't look dirty. Just keep it very mildly. Okay, this should be fine for that. Now, what about the canine? Now, the canine obviously is the biggest tooth out here, and the canine is going to be slightly out of this arch. So you're going to have a slight bump out, which means that you're going to remove this basic arch line at this point so that they look much more natural. You already know where your teeth are, you already placed it, and here you're going to connect them. That is your tooth central. And let me erase this between here. And once this is done, this is the tooth lateral. Okay, and then you know that this is the arch, so you're going to slightly bump it up because the canine has a slight prominence, and then you're going to come down. Okay, you can draw it with a little curve that's standing up and curve it, right? And here it's going to be a bit sharper towards the distal. I'm going to come like that. All right. And now here for the canine, remember you have a big cingulum. So before that, you're going to draw the incisal edge. You can give a small indent there, so you can clearly see there's a tip, right? And you can close this just to show it's the incisal edge. Yeah, that looks good. So the same like the central, but with a larger cingulum, and the curvature is different. Here the curvature is different. Here's more flat, right? So this is how you can make it look. Okay, so that's the final picture, how it looks. You can give a little bit of a shading in there, and if you need to, and keep this prominent cingulum for the canine, very small cingulum for the lateral, and slightly larger than lateral cingulum for the central incisor. Now, what's important is that you remember the sizes of the teeth. The central is long, so as the canine can be also similar length, but the lateral must be small. Okay, so if you feel like you want to increase this, you can increase this, and you can make it a little longer, just like your central. You can make it a bit longer. Just like your central, and you can give it a prominent cingulum just like you did it before. So now the size of the canine and the central look the same. The lateral is smaller, the cingulum, the most prominent cingulum is on the canine, the central is much more smaller, and the lateral is the smallest of all. Okay, I have also slightly pushed out the incisal edge of the central incisor, so you can see the small difference between the heights. If I were to draw one, see the lateral and the central and the canine are touching, but the lateral doesn't touch. So you can see that I've given that small effect. If you want to, I mean, actually this is not very important when you're doing RPD. It's more important to get the shapes proper, which is much more important, but just giving you that little bit of a idea as to how to draw it. So this will be the final effect of how it looks like. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you soon.